Panther Nation Podcast. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. Oh, cut it. Cut right. And I would like to introduce one of the hottest podcasts in Carolina history. Let's go. Yeah. Talk, let's chat. We got time to chop it up. Talking analytics and fantasy draft. You know what's up. Panther Nation representing, cause this is where we talk that. Talk that's so incredible. Make them rewind that talk back. Pause. Talking Panthers football, we discussing it all. On and off the field, you know exactly who to call. You know we the #1 podcast. Competition is non-existent, you need to stop that. Pause. It's an honor to be a Panther fan. Pause. At Bank of America, that is where we ball. Coming to the jungle, then you gonna feel the pause. Winning the trophy for the city, it is the cause. Black, white, and blue, we going Carolina strong. And this is the conversation where everyone belongs. Discussing all the numbers and topics, you know we got it. We the hottest podcast, and we poppin', let's go.
QueenCityPodcastNetwork.com.
Yo, what's cracking, Panther Nation? It is your boy Rashad, one half, but we got both halves here today. Dave and Rashad in the building.
We were here last week too. Well,
I was used to doing the mock draft Monday, so I got off track a little bit, but we both here today. Rashad and Dave in the building, Panther Nation Podcast. The offseason is upon us, Dave. We got, the combine just went down. You got free agency coming up next week, so it's about to get real lit. And the Panthers fans that are really locked in, this is kind of the best time for us. You know what I mean? The fans that are really locked in and tuned in to what's going on, even in the offseason, you are the true fans. Let's get to it, Dave. How was your weekend, bro?
It was good, man. I enjoyed actually being able to walk around in civilization with all the winter with all the snow that we had. You know what I'm saying? But overall, it was good. My son had the flu last week, so that was a adventure to say the least, bro. He was out here, bro. He was out here hurting. But he started feeling better over the weekend, which was good. I had him a couple of days throughout the week. He had the fever early in the week. Then we took him to the clinic. After the storm, we were able to drive out to the clinic and get him squared away, get him on some medicine, and he started feeling better around Sunday. So I was happy that I was with my lady over the weekend in Connecticut, chilling with her, and just going through stuff and preparing for these tournaments, man. And yeah, man, I'm running out of time. Got the cruise coming up in a week and a half, so I can't wait for that. My daughter just she just got the word that she's going to be studying abroad, so I got to raise some money for that.
Where's she going?
She's going to Bremen, Germany. She's going to Germany.
Nice.
Yeah, she's going to take some classes out there. She got 2 classes she's going to take out there in a month, so that should be fun for her. Yeah, she got official word today. We got to start planning this thing. So I'm going to have to start raising some money. I'm going to get the Cash App out there for the streets, see what we can do.
Dave, I do got to commend you. I have that shirt, sir, from Nashville.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Museum. I've been there. I have the same shirt. So I noticed that shirt. So shout out to Nashville.
Look at that. You got class, Nashville, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I love going to, bro. If I could come up with any reason to go to Nashville, like if the Panthers play the Titans in Nashville, it gives me an excuse to go to Nashville.
Facts.
This one was A&T, Tennessee State. Gave me an excuse to go to Nashville. And I had a blast, bro. Yeah, there's a lot of A&T alums down there, too.
Nashville is certainly a vibe. If you've never been, Nash Vegas is definitely where it's at. Go holler.
You know what nickname that I didn't realize they had for it? You know what they call it?
What's that? What they call it, Dave?
White Atlanta. Which fits the description to a T.
I ain't mad at that. You know what I mean?
No, it fits. And I love them down there, man. I have a blast every time I go down there, bro.
Yeah, Nashville is dope, man. Nashville is super lit, man. I love it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Nashville. Good, a quick little tangent there. But Dave, we got quite a bit to talk about. And we got to get into it, man, because it's a lot to talk about before we get into the draft talk and the combine and the visits and all that good stuff. We got to talk about some news surrounding the Panthers and some news that is just dropping. Franchise tag deadline, all that stuff is passed. So I don't have a slide for it because I didn't prep for that, but I do want to briefly talk about the franchise tag. But you know what it is. Stay on the prowl, all that good stuff. Use the promo code PNP10 when you go over to GameChanger.la. Holla GameChanger.la, get you a nice little shirt. They got all kinds of players shirts, pop culture T-shirts, anything you want from a fashion standpoint, they got it. Use the promo code PNP10 when you check out at GameChanger.la. All right. But Dave, like I said, I'm gonna leave this up, but because I don't have a slide for it, but I do briefly want to talk about the franchise tag deadline and what just occurred, and what did not occur. You know what I mean? So
4 players that got franchise tagged, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So Kyle Pitts got franchise tagged by Atlanta. You got George Pickens that got tagged by the Dallas Cowboys.
That tracks.
Yeah, that tracks. You got Breece Hall that was tagged by the New York Jets.
That's
and
interesting.
Then you got Daniel Jones, who wasn't franchise tagged, but they did use a transition tag on him. So obviously there's going to be some situation where they can kind of do some negotiation while they get that figured out. Yeah, while they get that figured out. So salute to those guys. That was it, Dave. That was it. Some really notable guys out there. One being Kenneth Walker, the third. You got, Trey Henderson didn't get it.
Bro, yo, can we have a discussion about Trey Henderson?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yo, man. The way that the Cincinnati Bengals bungled that contract negotiations with him is on Josh Norman levels with Dave Gettleman.
We're gonna talk about him a little bit, but yeah.
Oh God, I don't have no idea why you're talking about him. But I say all that to say, what a bungle, man! Like, how do you drop that? Why don't you tag him of all people?
Yeah, you talking about multiple years of contract disputes with the Bengals. He's now able to hit the market without any restrictions. They're not going to tag him. He requested a trade, if you recall, Dave, last offseason. He led the league in sacks, and now here's where we are, man. And they really, really, really needed Henderson. Like, he's basically all they have defensively. He had 35 sacks in 2023 and 2024, bro. Like, he only had 4 last year, right? But he only played in 7 games due to some injuries. So that's something to keep an eye on. Maybe the value is not as high. Maybe that's why the Bengals didn't want to commit. But it's very interesting with Trey Henderson, bro.
I want to remind everybody on the show and in the chat that Zach Taylor was the only coach that was not changed in that division. I just want to put that out there in the atmosphere. That division has Cleveland, Baltimore, and Pittsburgh, and all 3 of them had to get new coaches. But Zach Taylor, who's been struggling since he hit that Super Bowl steez, and he still has a job. It's kind of astonishing, to be honest with you. And now your best defensive player is walking out the door.
Yeah. But yeah, Bengals, man, they that, and especially like you're saying, Dave, that division's going through a lot of turmoil. This is the time you got to take advantage of it, get you a division championship, get in the playoffs, and that is we'll say it's going to be more challenging without Henderson, to say the least. But yeah, man. So Henderson's one of them. Kenneth Walker's one of them. Did not get tagged. Who else did not get a tag? So a couple other guys that did not receive the tag. One that we need to be keeping an eye on: Devin Lloyd, a linebacker from Jacksonville Jaguars. Tyler Linderbaum, center from the Ravens, did not get tagged. Malik Willis did not get tagged from the Packers. Jalen Phillips from the Eagles did not get tagged. Kobe Bryant from the Seahawks didn't get tagged. Mike Evans from the Bucks did not get tagged. Rashid Shaheed from the Seattle Seahawks also did not get tagged. The Seahawks typically don't use the tag. History, they don't really use it.
It's funny because it's funny that nowadays you don't use the tag, but because I remember in the past they had an offensive lineman where they tagged like 4 or 5 straight years. But those type of things don't happen as often anymore because of how much it costs. Like the tag used to not jump as high as it used to now. So it's much more prohibitive to use the tag. That's why it's not being utilized as much. But that's what the players wanted too, right? They wanted to have the opportunity to go into free agency more often. So this is what they asked for in the previous collective bargaining agreement from that standpoint. They felt like the franchise tag kind of delayed folks from getting the big deal. And it does.
It does.
It does. But, so it's going to be interesting, man, what moves we're going to get starting next week. He ain't gone, but he could go anywhere he wants.
Free agent. Yeah, he's a free agent, so he can negotiate with any other team. Now, I'm pretty sure he would like to return to the Bucks, but they did not tag him, and he's going to be open to negotiate with other teams. So we'll see if that happens. They did a great job by kind of backfilling that role. They are wide receiver. They got riches at wide receiver. The Bucks do. So they are drafting well, and that's what happens. This is why I am a proponent of drafting a wide receiver every single year, because you keep that talent going, and you prevent situations like this where you lose a star player like Mike Evans. It's going to hurt them, but they can still sustain it because they have talent walking in the door behind them. So they got Ibuka. They still got
Godwin, Chris Godwin.
Yeah, Godwin. They got a couple other guys too that they have played well there. So they're gonna be solid. But yeah, that's the franchise tag. I did want to quickly talk about that. Did not have a slide for it. I wish I did, but I didn't have time to prepare it. So I had to take my kids to dance. So
no worries. We do have one. We have one super chat.
Go ahead.
Shout out to A Cash. What's up, Sean? What's up, Dave? I missed last week, but it feels like it's been a while since I've joined live. Hey, and I will say about last week, if you want to talk about small prospects and we want to talk about FCS, you definitely need to check that out. Like and I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a confession. I didn't watch any of the combine. Now, that being said, one thing I got from my folks when I was on HBCU, when I was listening to HBCU Nightly on Sunday, was that the FCS players were the ones near the top of the list when it talks to best performances. The 8 or so guys that got invited. And I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, the last week's show was really good. Obviously, when you're talking about smaller schools, the views aren't going to be as high, but definitely go back and watch that. We got good reviews. I was watching the comments. People enjoyed it. For those that did watch it. So those guys know what they're talking about. Again, if you can recall, those guys helped us identify Jalen Coker even before Smitty put the binoculars on him. So those guys know what they're talking about. Their ears are to the streets when it comes to these smaller schools. And there's always going to be some FCS talent that comes in the league and surprises folks. And we're going to be like, we already talked about it. We already knew what was coming. So
there's a couple gems. Like I highly encourage you guys. There's a couple gems that they discussed. Some that I've mentioned in the past that are really good. And we're going to be shaking our head wondering why we didn't pick up this UDF air draft from these guys. So, but phenomenal episode. Shout out to Zach. Shout out to my boy Gerald doing that groundwork.
Yep. But all right, that's all I got for the franchise tags.
You heard about some of these releases?
Yeah, we could talk about them. Let's talk about some of the releases.
Kyler Murray.
Yes, thank you, Dave. Thank you. I did not have a slide for that either. Yes, Kyler Murray did get released. That is very interesting. As you know, that's one of those ones we kind of knew it was coming. But they officially made that move. Dave, what's your thoughts?
I think I'm kind of curious to see where he's going to end up. Like, I think a lot of folks were screaming Minnesota, but the whole Daniel Jones situation makes that fascinating. With Minnesota, they let the GM go, so it's going to be fascinating to see if they go after Kyler. Opportunity for Kyler.
Minnesota appears to be the top landing spot for Kyler potentially.
Yeah, that's the top landing spot.
That's what everybody's saying. That's what the streets are saying.
JJ McCarthy is pretty much done. Like I don't think he's gonna get a chance to be the starter again, which that didn't take long now, did it? But I got my thoughts about the quarterbacks in this draft, so but I get it. But either way, that one was one that was expected, but it's still gonna be interesting to see where that one goes.
Yeah.
Raiders is interesting too, but I just don't think it's worth the squeeze. You might as well go with Mendoza, even though I don't think Mendoza's in it for a quarterback, but keep it moving.
Yeah, the free agency market is crazy. There's a lot of good players out there. Malik Willis from a quarterback perspective, we can quickly go through them. Again, I did not have a full slide for this, but Malik Willis is out there. Kyler Murray's out there. Cousins, Rodgers, Mariota. From a quarterback perspective, from a running back perspective, you got Kenneth Walker. Travis Etienne is another one that's out there. Kenneth Gainwell. Rico is out there. Tyler Algier. Any thoughts on those before I keep going?
Might as well bring his brother here, huh?
I mean, it could be a thing. It could be a thing. You never know.
I mean, possibly. We never know. That one was intriguing. I could actually see Walker re-signing with the Seahawks. Kenneth Walker re-signing with the Seahawks. I don't think the running back market is going to be that expensive, bro. Like, I just don't.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't think so either at all. We'll talk about Rico, and we'll hold off on the Rico conversation. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be that bad. I don't think it's going to be that bad at all. I think it could be attainable to get Rico back potentially. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so those are the running backs. Receiver wise, you got Alec Pierce from the Colts.
I like him actually.
Yeah, he's solid. But they let him hit the market. Rashid Shaheed, return specialist. Mike Evans, Wan'Dale Robinson, Romeo Doubs, Jawan Jennings, Debo.
Debo's a free agent?
Yep, Debo is a free agent. Yep, 30 years old. It's getting up there.
Okay.
Tight end standpoint, you got Cade Otton, Isaiah Likely, Kelsey's out there. I did not know that. Dallas go there. Darren Waller, Njoku. I remember Njoku's name floated out there. He's out there. From an offensive tackle,
I like Njoku.
Yeah, from an offensive tackle standpoint, you got Rasheed Walker, Braden Smith, Jawan Taylor, Braxton Jones. Interior offensive lineman, you got Tyler Linderbaum, Elijah Vera Tucker, David Edwards, Zion Jones, Cade Mays. We'll talk about that in a second. A couple other guys. Edge rushers, you got Jalen Phillips. Oh, go ahead. My fault, Dave.
No. That's what I want to talk about. Let's talk about these edge rushers, man.
Edge rushers, Jalen Phillips, Trey Henderson, Odafe Owe, Boye Mafe, Kwity Paye, Clavon Chason, Khalil Mack, 35-year-old Khalil Mack, Joseph Osai, Joey Bosa, Bradley Chubb. There are some big names out there, a little bit on the older side. I'm not sure if that's the route we're going to go due to the age.
This guy I want.
Oh,
I want.
Yeah, 27 years old. Now, he kind of fits the bill.
That's what I want.
Fits the bill.
We're going to go get somebody. Go get him.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what I want.
Not the best against the run, but I mean,
that's fine. We'll figure that out. We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
After what I just saw, we'll figure that out. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm there.
That's something we got to keep an eye on as we enter. The basically free agency is going to set up the draft, right? And so, if we go out there and get an edge rusher like Owe, then that kind of reduces the need for an edge rusher in the draft, and then we can focus on linebacker, etc., or vice versa. You know what I mean? So definitely, that doesn't mean we won't shy away from that particular position, but it definitely does. It makes it less, needed. Hassan Reddick's also out there. Cam Jordan's a free agent. Clowney's a free agent. There's a lot of names out there from an edge rusher standpoint. A lot of names.
Older names too.
Yeah, they're older. They're older for sure. Interior defensive line, you got John Franklin Mays, Calais Campbell, DJ Reader, Draymond Jones, Sheldon Rankins, David Onyemata, Logan Hall, a couple of names there. Now here's where we need to be. Linebacker. Here's where you got to lock in. Some good names up here too. Devin Lloyd, I think that's what
I want, bro.
When you talk about 3-down linebackers, excuse me, he can rush the passer, solid in coverage. I mean, this is, you got to drop the bag. I mean,
how did not tag that man, bro?
I don't know.
Linebacker tag ain't that high either.
It's not. And I don't think it's that he's going to be, terribly expensive for the position, yes, but it's not going to be a massive amount of money. He's probably 10 to 12 million per year. It's not terrible.
High.
Yeah, I mean,
that's wild to me.
Another name though, Dave, that's out there from a division rival, Caden Ellis, right? He's super underrated. One of the best pass rushing linebackers there is out there. He played 1,000 snaps for 3 straight years at an extremely high level for the Falcons. And I mean, you want to talk about, taking from your op. I wouldn't mind that either. I think Caden Ellis will be a solid, probably won't be as expensive as a Devin Lloyd, but definitely something we want to keep an eye on. Leo Chenal's out there, N'Kobe Dean, Quay Walker, Demario Davis, super old, but he's out there. Devin Bush, just some names from a linebacker standpoint. Cornerback, Jamel Dean, Jalen Watson, Alontae Taylor, Tariq Woolen, who's obviously coming off a Super Bowl. Yesterday's price won't be today's price.
That bag's gonna be vicious for him.
Yeah, Diggs is out there. Kobe Durant, couple names. Safety, you got Brian Cook, Kobe Bryant, Nick Cross, Cameron Curl, who got curled up against the Panthers. I had 2 days. Sorry, I had to take advantage of that.
I respect it, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, safety stand. So those are some names for free agency you got to keep an eye on. I do expect the Panthers to be active. And I do expect us to go after a pretty big name, whether it be linebacker or edge rusher. I do think we're going to spend some cash. We're going to go out there, free up some money, restructure some deals, and get a big name in here. I don't think they're going to play around, bro.
I don't disagree. I think they're hell bent on fixing this defense, bro. That's the vibes I got when you talk about some of the interviews I did see. Those guys are hell bent on fixing the defense, which is not a bad approach after seeing what Seattle just did. Not a bad approach at all. So, $26 million that's on the cheaper side.
That's a lot. I think is that edge or let me see.
Hold on.
Is that edge or is that?
No, I think that's edge, man. I'm gonna try franchise tag numbers. 2026. All right, let's see here.
I think I had it up.
I got it. So for linebacker, it is $26 million, $26,865.
Wow.
And for transition tag, it's $21,925. Now it's funny. The defensive end, $24,434, $21,512.
That's crazy. So,
it's higher. It's higher than defensive end.
Wow.
Defensive tackles, the highest out of the bunch on the front seven. Defensive tackles, $27 million. For the franchise tag, $22 million for the transition. Quarterback franchise tag is $43 million, $43,895,000. Oh my Lord! I'm looking at the numbers for 2027. What they're projecting? Jesus Christ! The quarterback franchise tag is going to be almost $60 million next year. But that's it, man. Them's the numbers.
Yeah. That's crazy. But all right, let's keep this thing moving. That again, we got we'll set up and have a more in-depth conversation about free agency next week, as we will free agency opens up on the 11th. So that's the next Wednesday. And so we'll talk about it the day before. And I probably would do like a marathon stream if things go. I want to be able to go live immediately as soon as something happens. So we'll keep an eye on that for sure. All right, Dave, have you heard? Panthers might be playing in the Hall of Fame game, Dave. You heard about this?
Yeah, I heard about it. It'll be the first time it's happened since the inaugural season, 1995.
The first time it's happened since 1995, Dave. Yeah, so this is something to keep an eye on. It may or may not happen. We're eligible. Typically, when a player from your squad gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, then that team typically plays. So since Luke is getting inducted, I think we might have a strong chance of playing this game. I ain't mad at it. If the Panthers are playing, I'll watch it. But bro, this is not a game that I'd be super excited to watch. Yeah. Yep.
Now it's the fourth preseason game, right? Because you get an extra preseason game, you play this game.
Yeah.
So
and I mean, I don't even want to watch preseason like that. So
nope,
this is not one of the games I would be running to watch if the Panthers were to play in the Hall of Fame game. But since it's Panthers football, we definitely going to be watching, probably live stream and all that good stuff.
It'll be on globally, so might as well watch. Everybody gonna watch.
We gonna watch. We
won't see Bryce Young though. I can tell you that right now. You won't see Bryce. You won't see the starters here. This ain't the starters type of game. Maybe the offensive coordinator call the plays though.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, he needs more, as many reps as possible because he's new to it. It's gonna be interesting.
Hey man, Brad was in action last year too, y'all. You know,
it was not good.
Never forget.
We're gonna keep it a buck.
Hey,
we're gonna keep it a buck.
Hey man, y'all didn't want Dave calling plays no more. Here we go.
No, you didn't want him to call plays, Dave.
I didn't. You didn't either.
I was cool with it.
You said, you get a hove. No.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Look at NFL Kid Drop. It says Panthers are 1-6 in the last 2 seasons of preseason. I don't look forward to preseason at this point. Nobody cares about wins and losses in preseason. We want to see our players get better. Yeah, we don't really care about the wins and losses.
It's about development.
Yeah, we got to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. You want to see guys take an individual step forward. It's not about the win and the loss. So, yeah. All right. But that is some news. The Panthers might be playing in the Hall of Fame game, and keep an eye on it. And we'll know pretty soon whether we're going to be playing it or not. All right, Dave. Did you see this? We got to talk about it. We got to talk about this. And I know we want to talk about the combine. We want to talk about the draft. We'll get to that stuff a little bit later.
I mean, this is
we'll
more.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that a little bit later.
This is way more interesting than the Winter Olympics, yo.
But Dave, wow. So our guy Steve Smith had his show, and he was talking about his exit from the Carolina Panthers.
One of the first times he discussed it outside of when we interviewed him too, by the way.
Yeah, like he really went into depth about what went down, and the reason why it was applicable too is because they talked about how at the combine a lot of these conversations happen, right? A lot of the wheeling and dealing happens in Indianapolis, right? And there's a lot of private meetings that occur, so that's how this thing came up, and so if you aren't aware, if you haven't heard about it, Smitty is not a fan of Ron Rivera, which we never really put that together. We knew we didn't like Gettleman. We knew that. I mean, that was
that was clear,
documented. But we didn't know there was real beef between him and Ron Rivera, and he still ain't rocking with Ron to this day, merely because Ron Rivera at the time Steve Smith was getting released didn't have a conversation with Steve Smith Sr. man to man about what was going on. And from Ron's perspective, I guess they told Ron to kind of stay out of it. You know what I mean? Let it play out. But Smitty being who Smitty is, and which is the reason why I rock with Smitty so heavy.
Yeah.
And I'm the same way, right? We men, if you can't say it to my face, right? Yeah. Then you don't need to be saying it, right? We got to have these conversations like grown men and talk like grown men, and that's why I rock with Smitty, right? His whole beef. It makes sense to me. Some people may think it's petty, but as a man, you know what I mean? You got to have some respect. And that's all the man wanted. As much as he gave to this organization, I think he at least earned the right to have a conversation upon his exit. And that was not granted to him. So I'm with Smitty on this. Dave, what's your thought?
I agree. Like, I think Smitty, you got to know who he is as a person. You've coached this man for years. Like, you should know what he is as a person. So you should know what to expect. And for them, it seemed like he was kind of keeping quiet about the situation. Like, he might have known what was about to happen next. I know at one point, during when we interviewed him, he talked about he requested a trade. But like, you can at least have the conversation with him. I mean, that's the least you can do. You're talking about somebody who he was number one in pretty much every statistical category at the position. So that's the least you can do. He's like one of the most legendary Panthers we've ever had. That's the least you can do. It ended badly. I'm glad that the Panthers organization has kind of mended defenses, so to speak, with regards to Steve Smith Sr. But I ain't mad at I ain't mad how he feels about Rivera, man.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the thing that really irritates Smitty is that these people put on a persona in front of the media, and they're like, okay, yeah, I'm a player's coach and I'm this and I'm that, But then, you ain't really your actions in private didn't really prove that you are the person who you say you are in publicly. And that's what I rock with too. I'm super that, bro. This is why you don't hear me get up here and talk cash crap about players like that, because we got to see these dudes at the end of the day. Like we got to see these guys.
And trust. If anybody knows more, it would be you after what happened to DJ Moore.
Exactly. So this is why I don't get up here, bro. I'm not one of these pods that's just gonna get up here and talk crap about players, bro. We gonna see these dudes. Like I got my opinions about the game, of course, but I'm never gonna get personal with guys like, because ultimately I got to keep that same energy, right? And so that's why I rock with Smitty. Smitty, we have the same kind of. As a man, you just want the respect, bro. Like that's all it is. Just be respectful, bro. And he earned that, given the player who he was.
Considering what he did for franchise, man.
He earned that, bro. He earned that conversation. Now, business is business. It's not always going to go your way, and I'm sure he understands that. But bro, you gotta be able to kind of handle that like a man, bro. Like that you got to be able to have those conversations. But yeah. So go ahead.
This was a fixable moment, but I don't know this is salvageable. It's gonna take a while for this to be salvageable. I know recently him and Cam did a Better Help video and sit down, which I thought was dope. I don't know if we're gonna get that with him and Rivera. I'll keep it a being with you. I don't know.
Yeah,
and you talking about somebody that's a former player too.
Yeah, bro, you just gotta converse. You gotta be willing to have a conversation. And we thought Cam and Smitty was never gonna sit down until it happened, right? So,
but I thought there was more hope in that. But we knew something. We knew that he hated Gettleman to the core.
Oh yeah, he don't mess with.
Oh my God, man! But I didn't realize it was like that with Riverboat Ron. And well, that's interesting. You asked that question about whether or not Rivera made the decision. I low key think that he had more call on the personnel side for a minute, man. That man survived 3 GMs. If you want to keep it a bean, like when you sit down and think about it, he survived Hurney getting fired. He survived Gettleman getting fired. He stayed long enough for the guy that got fired the first time was able to fire him. That's how long he stayed when you sit down and think about it, right? Because he got there when Hurney was there. Hurney got let go. Gettleman was there. Gettleman got let go. Hurney came back. And yeah. And then when Tepper took over the team, Tepper moved on.
Yeah. But yeah, again, even if he didn't have the ultimate say in the conversation, I think you still owe the man. You're the head coach, right? Like, hey, you can easily say, "Hey, bro, it's not my decision," which it probably wasn't. Even if it was, you know what I mean? Like, hey, it ain't my decision. We did, but we got to move on, bro. It
would have made it worse if he says it wasn't my decision and it was though. So
the point still stands, right? Just
he should have talked to the man. There should have been a conversation had. I completely agree. We got another super chat. Shout out to Will Robinson, 8432. Shout out. What's going on, Will? 100% agree. He deserved a conversation. Absolutely. He absolutely deserved a conversation from this.
Yep.
All right. What's the next drama? What's the next drama we got, man? What's the next drama we got?
Ain't no drama, but here's just a couple of guys in regards to, we talked about free agency, right? And two of our guys are basically eligible to hit the market. They're gonna hit free agency, and Cade Mays and Rico. The Cade Mays it appears he's gonna demand quite a bit of money in the open market, which is very interesting. Because I think we may be playing the long game here with Cade Mays. I think we might be willing to kind of let our younger guys cook from a center standpoint. Dave, if you recall, we have a young man that we are actually undefeated when he plays. When he was in the lineup, Nick Samick, however you say his name, bro. He might be in line to start, you know what I mean? And we were undefeated when he played. So,
Rashad,
go ahead.
Let me explain something to you, sir.
Go ahead, man.
I expect Cade Mays to get a bag.
Yeah, he's getting a bag.
But if somehow, because the thing is, what I saw was more and more teams are appreciating players that can play multiple positions on the offensive line. So that makes him valuable to no end. So I anticipate that Mr. Mays is going to get back. He's probably going to end up in Detroit. Their center just retired. So he's probably going to end up in Detroit with a bag. Now, if somehow this bag is not as heavy as he thought he was, I'm pretty sure he's open to come back to Charlotte, and I think we need to pay him accordingly. If the bag is not as heavy as he thought, I think we need to figure out a way to come back. I understand that we have a center on our roster right now that's undefeated at starter. However,
never lost, Dave. Never lost.
Damn. Carolina never lost either, and you saw what happened with that. I'm good. Good. Now, because otherwise we got to draft one. Like, we got to draft a guy. So I would
we got the depth. You got Nick Semek, who he been around for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, got some experience. It might just let it rock out there.
Centers are so undervalued too as a position, low key. So it'll be interesting to see how Cade ends up. But we got to get somebody else. I understand how hype you are about Nick, but I think we need to get somebody else.
Yeah. So also same applies to Rico. I think we might be in a situation where Jonathan Brooks, could be that. Again, you don't know what you're gonna get. Word on the street is, and I got a slide for him, but word on the street is that he's getting healthier. He's running on a treadmill, looking good. Coming off that ACL tear, he had just recovered from. So we could be in a situation where Rico's going to get the bulk again, and you also got ETN. So ETN is still on the roster, played okay when he got the opportunities. So we'll see what happens with the running back situation. Dave, you want to talk about Bobby?
Yeah, I mean, since the news just popped in, shout out to Jermaine Johnson Music. Giants just released Bobby Okere. It'll be interesting if we can try to go after him. It'll probably be available right at the beginning of the league year, but yeah, man, it's a mess right now. I'm gonna miss Cade. I like Cade when we drafted him, man. So I'm gonna miss Cade. I am. I'm gonna miss him. It sucks that we ain't gonna be able to compete because he's gonna get a bag. He's getting paid. There's no question about it. Remember, Mays is in the center and guard market, so someone will pay him. He's a top 5. He's top 5 in the free agent market due to his skill and positional flexibility. More like if there was somebody that the Panthers should have franchise tagged, it was him. Truth be told, but I knew we weren't gonna do it because with the price tag, it's too high. It's way too high. So
yeah. So we got a Giants fan in the building that says he's cooked. So I think again, better options available in Ellis, Chenal, Bush. I agree. I agree. He's not top of the list, but definitely could be an option for sure.
DJ Moore's a free agent or something? DJ Moore a free agent?
Don't think so.
Where do we think DJ Moore lands? They're not gonna release him, are they? Don't tempt me with a good time, man.
He's on the contract. They might let him go. I don't know.
That would be wild if they let him go. But yeah, man, I'm gonna miss Cade. Rico returning is not out of the realm of possibility because I think the running back market is not gonna be as high as he thinks it's gonna be. I just don't. I don't think it's gonna be that high. I don't think folks are clamoring for the position. They never are.
Yeah.
They can just draft somebody. You just draft a guy.
Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see what happens with these two guys. Like I said, just Jonathan Brooks is getting healthy. We got a good report from him this week that he is on the treadmill running. And I tell y'all, man, if he is really able to get back to his former self, it's gonna be problems, bro. He is that good. We saw it in that brief couple of games, bro. He definitely has a lot of potential. And so I'm excited to hopefully get him back, but I don't think we can rest on our laurels and just, and kind of just anticipate him just coming back and things being great. We got to make sure we have a safety net there just in case. You know what I mean? So, but Dave, any thoughts on Jonathan Brooks and him potentially, returning to health?
Yo, man, when he was healthy, he looked dynamic, man. He looked special. So I'm not mad at them waiting to see if he can get back to his former self. I'm hoping he can just keep the injuries back, man, intact. He stays healthy. So hopefully that'll be good. I'm not ready to give up on him yet because I thought he was phenomenal when we saw him. So I'm hoping that he stays healthy.
Yeah. And again, I agree. I don't think he's, I mean, you never know. Listen, there's been advancements in medicine. We didn't see anybody recover from 3 ACL tears until
Thomas
Davis.
Davis.
So like, listen, he's on the roster. And we're gonna see him, right? If he gets injured again, so be it. But you got to be able. That's why you can't rest on your laurels. You know what I mean? You can't just assume that he's gonna be great. You got to have somebody to backfill the position. And again, maybe they feel like Chuba and ETN are going to be solid in that rotation. Maybe they bring somebody else in. Maybe they, look at some undrafted guys to bring in. We'll see. But if he is available, bro, if he is available and he's ready to go, I mean, you got to play him and see what happens. You got to see what happens. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And hope all we can do is hope for the best with this kid because we know the talent is there. We know he can play, but we just gotta hope for the best. You know what I mean?
Stay healthy. That's all you can do.
That's all we can do.
I'm rooting for him though.
All right, let's keep it moving. All right, so Dave, couple other guys that are being allowed to seek a trade, or be cut. One of the two. Dave is giving the cut signal. One of the two is going to happen, right? A'Shawn Robinson and Andy Dalton. Both of these guys, is word on the street is that they have been given the opportunity to go out there and seek a trade. This is why if you go back and look at my past mock draft Monday, I did draft an interior defensive lineman in Caleb Banks, and so that's because of that, right? They are looking at some interior guys in the draft, and again, A'Shawn specifically is a cap casualty. Andy Dalton, Dan Morgan went out and said that, hey, we're looking to get younger at the backup quarterback position. You know what I mean? We're looking to get younger and more mobile. And so I don't think that Andy Dalton fits that bill anymore. And so we'll see what happens with Andy Dalton. Dave, what you think about Andy Dalton and us potentially moving on and find a younger, quicker, faster, more athletic backup quarterback?
It's a Bryce is ready, man. No folks don't want to hear it, but he's ready. So Bryce is ready, and because Bryce is ready, you don't need Andy. You can go get a younger guy.
And I know but I think they just want a more viable backup. I don't think it's really about Bryce at all.
Well, no, I think a lot of teams they're on this veteran steez, right? Cam had Derek Anderson and things like that. Had Derek Anderson for a long period of time. I think Canales thinks, all right, we're good. We're gonna go ahead and develop a new guy, and we'll probably either draft somebody, which is very possible, or grab a UDFA. And there's some pretty good small school USDFAs that we can develop. That's coming out this year. So that's my thought with regards to this. And that's fine. I mean, Andy had a good career, man. That man made the Bengals relevant. I mean, that alone is a good career. I mean, so shout out to him.
Yeah. But yeah, I do second I second this. I do think we need to move on from Andy Dalton and find a more viable option. I'm not saying this guy is an option, but he is available allegedly. Dave, Anthony Richardson. I'm just putting it out there. They allowed this man to go out and seek a trade as well. Dave, I'm just putting it out. I'm not saying he's the guy. I'm just putting it out there, Dave. Any thoughts on Anthony Richardson?
And I would love to have a quarter black, to be clear. Since we have
Bryce,
we need a black up. So I'm not mad at the option to do it. I just don't think it's feasible. But I would like to have a quarter black. I would like a black up, if possible, for Bryce. So I just don't. But I'm good on Anthony Richardson. I mean, Kobe Brissett available. Like, give me that type of black up. Like, just give me somebody that's reliable that can be a decent black up. I'm good. It's kind of funny because I remember those folks who wanted this guy number 1 overall.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's a friendly and the reason why they wanted him over Bryce was because they wanted somebody that could be durable, that can stay healthy, because Bryce would get hurt. And this is all this man has done. Besides the fact taking him out of a game. When he took himself out of the game, he was done. From my perspective, he was done. That was it. It was a wrap. The moment when he took himself out of a game because he was tired, that was it. He was done. He's done. So, do you really want me to go over this story again, man? Do I have to go over this with you? Y'all remember when Cam Newton was starting quarterback here, and after one bad game, they would be out here asking for Derek Anderson? That's why. Jacksonville figured it out real fast. When they had Byron Leftwich, and they were saying we don't like Byron Leftwich, and they realized the backup was David Garrard, they were cool with Byron Leftwich. Same thing with Lamar Jackson. It took a long time before Lamar Jackson did not have a blackup. All right, they put Robert Griffin III behind him. It's just what it is. All right, that's all I got.
All right, but Anthony Richardson is definitely
he doesn't deserve initials. He will be Anthony Richardson. He hasn't earned that yet.
They're gonna move on from him. Obviously, with them transition tagging Daniel Jones too, that kind of sent that signal that they're done with this experiment, and they want to ride the veteran. So, but yeah, man.
Well, all right. So now that we're talking about black ups, because we're in this.
Moved on from that, man. Go ahead.
No, because there's a couple black ups that are available, and I want your thoughts on it. How do you feel about Malik Willis coming here?
You're not gonna sign. That's a bag, bro. You're not gonna sign Malik Willis.
You think he's gonna get a bag like that?
Yes, he's gonna get a bag, bro. He's gonna get a bag. No,
well, Kyler's gonna get a bag too, so that ain't even an option either.
I think Malik gonna get a bigger bag.
Really?
Yes, I do.
Wow.
Yes, I do.
What about Trey Lance?
I mean, hell, if you saying no to Anthony Richardson, you got to say no to Trey Lance too.
Really? I don't know, man. I mean, so in that case, I'll just draft the guy. Just draft somebody.
I don't think that's gonna happen. I think they're gonna get a better. Give me Jameis Winston, dog.
I ain't mad at that,
bro. Give me Jameis.
Yo, I ain't mad at that,
and I'll be cool with that, bro. Give me Jameis Winston. That's who I want as my quarterback.
I ain't mad at Jameis. And he would be so hilarious.
He'd be perfect here, bro. We need that.
He would be freaking perfect here.
We need Jameis.
Yo,
Winston. That would be my dream.
Perfect. He would be perfect here. He would be perfect here. I wouldn't be mad at that. I would not be mad at Jameis. I love Jameis. We got to protect Jameis Winston at all costs.
At all costs, bro.
At all costs, bro. My man was out here singing Hamilton. I was done. I was like, yeah, we got to get this man here.
Yeah, we got to get Jameis Winston. That would be my ideal backup. And he's good too. Like, let's not get it twisted.
Yeah, nah, Jameis can win you some games. Jameis
can win some games.
He can lose you some, but he damn sure can win you some. I do not want Russell Wilson. Let me go ahead and put that out there for you.
Here you go. See,
I do not want
Trey Lance though. You want Trey Lance.
No, I said I was like, really?
Discussion, but Russ ain't no discussion, bro.
No, I just said really. All right, really. I don't want Russ though. Nah, Russ is just like having Andy Dalton.
they say, nah, this is funny. Hey, low key, this is funny, but true. Jameis and Bryce, too corny of a quarterback for me. That's funny. That is funny.
No, but Jameis ain't corny though. Jameis ain't corny. Jameis ain't corny. That's not fair. They ain't fair to Jameis. I didn't say that. Don't do that. I don't want to. Like, I just can't. Russ is too old, bro. I'm sorry.
Jameis then. You would say the same thing about Jameis then.
But Jameis actually shown he's actually effective. Russ hasn't. Like, he hasn't. Like, Russ lost his job to Jackson Dart, bro.
Jameis 32.
Russ is probably like 35, 36.
I don't know. 30. He's 37. So that is
37.
That is over.
I gave him some credit. I gave him more credit than I should have.
Yeah, that is over here. Give me Jameis Winston.
Oh, Jameis, if Winston's not a free agent, we're done here.
He not? Hold on, bro. Come on, man.
Don't do that. Yeah, I don't know why y'all asking about other people that used to play here. That ain't happening, ladies and gentlemen. Cameron's over. Cameron.
He did sign a 2-year deal with the Giants.
Oh yeah, greatest city in the
My
world.
bad. My bad. The James Winston is he is not available. Good catch. Good catch.
Mariota, I wouldn't be that mad with Mariota. I'm not mad at Mariota. But nah, I don't. The question I have is, are we gonna? All right. So there's two choices here, right? You're either gonna get a guy that's gonna be somebody for development, or you're gonna get a legitimate backup. I'm not interested in getting somebody that's gonna try to take his job. All right.
Nobody's taking Bryce's job, bro.
Well, I think some of the. I agree with you. I just think some of the fan base thinks that the case.
No.
No. Okay.
No, I don't think that you could bring anybody in here that's going to take Bryce Young's job. What we do need is somebody that can continue the ship. If in the event that Bryce Young does go down, we need somebody to continue it. Bingo. There we go. Now we're.
You want to talk to somebody that's gotten a shaft, man? That man got benched for Nathan Peterman, and Peterman played so bad. They was like, "Can you please come back and fix this?" That man broke the streak of the playoff drought of the Bills. People forget about that. He was the one that led the Bills to the playoffs for the first time in almost 20 years. Bernie Kosar. Yeah, I'm not mad at Tyrod. I'm not mad at Tyrod. All right, let's move on.
All right. Yep. So patreon.com/Panther Nation PC. Man, again, we appreciate everybody's support. You can go to patreon.com/Panther Nation PC. Sign up to support the channel. Any contribution helps. Shout out to all of our MVPs. Shout out to our franchise, and shout out to our free agents, man. Again, like I said, we greatly appreciate everybody's contributions to this channel, and we couldn't do it without you. Here are all of our franchise folks, and here are our free agents. Again, we appreciate you, and we got some more content coming down the way. Dave, Underdog.
All right, man. Make sure you guys go to underdogfantasy.com. Use the promo code PNP when you do. We got the NBA playoffs about to go off. March Madness is coming.
Shout out to the Hornets, man.
By the way, we're going to beat y'all behind tomorrow.
Come on.
We'll put that out there for you. And you could do higher or lowers when the Hornets play the Boston Celtics tomorrow night. So make sure you go to underdog.com and use the promo code PNP when you do. It really helps out the channel.
Yep.
But man, y'all gonna make the playoffs, but y'all ain't gonna beat us. Let me be clear.
All right, so let me give a quick shout out to my guy Dane_B12 on Panthers Reddit. He put together a nice tracker for the visits, and I just want to briefly go through them to kind of show you what it looks like. Again, this is excellent, very well done. He did all the work, and so salute to Dane B12 on Panthers Reddit. But I want to quickly go through these and just kind of show you where the Panthers are putting their efforts right now. And again, this does not account for any pro day visits that are going to occur here coming up. This is strictly everything that's led up to the combine, so we can kind of see where they're investing, what positions they're investing, and where those draft projections are, right? That's where it's important, right? We're looking at not only the position, but let's look at the projections, because that's important. Where are they targeting certain positions? So I got it filtered on linebacker right now, so you can see CJ Allen, Sonny Styles are both round one targets. They got Jacob Rodriguez, Kyle Lewis. All these guys are basically day one or two guys.
They do, yeah. So they understand the importance of the position.
Correct. So that's kind of what we're getting to, right? My man said too many tabs. All right, fair enough. I'll pull it out. Pause. So
man, don't be out here getting sensitive with the tabs, man. Don't be out here trying to.
I did have a lot of tabs.
It wasn't that much. I mean, this stuff was to have like 200 tabs. Like,
I did have a lot of tabs.
That's what they're there for. That's what they're there for.
That's the linebacker line. So that's the linebacker room that they visited. So let's take a quick look at cornerback, because I thought this was very interesting. Cornerback. So this was the most visits they had. They had eight visits,
but none. But
cornerbacks,
hardly draftable guys.
Bingo. So they were all late to undrafted guys, right? So that's again just the kind of that gives you the insight as to where the Panthers are targeting certain positions.
So you know what I mean, Rashad? It's a friendly reminder. Their need ain't your need because you think it's a bigger need than what you think based on what they're doing right now, based on the data.
Who,
Like
me?
I know you want us to draft a cornerback.
I know I want us to draft the cornerback. I don't think it's a bigger need than linebacker or edge.
Oh no. But my point is, I think there's some portion of the fan base that think there's a much bigger need than what it truly is. Like I think they say, "Oh, we need a cornerback," but not somebody to spend a day 1 or day 2 pick for.
Yeah.
Not even a day 3 pick, truth be told.
Right. But this is why I'm doing this, is to show Panthers fans that this is where the Panthers are putting their energy in. Look at the projected, look at where they're projected to go, and this is where they're investing their energy. And so we're not surprised on draft night. Hey, look, they put a lot of effort into edge rushers and linebackers. And so speaking of edge, let's take a quick look at edge rushers because it's a very similar story, right? If you look at edge, there's 4-5 guys here, and they almost all of them are day 1 or 2, right? So you got Kedrick Falk, Derek Moore, Romello Height, and Gabe Chakos. All these guys are day 1 or 2 guys. You know what I mean? So they're looking at either taking a edge rusher as it stands right now. If the draft order occurred tomorrow, and if things may shift once free agency occurs, right? Because let's say if we go out there and sign a premier edge rusher, Trey Hendrickson or whatever, then that's going to shift the board a little bit. But if we don't address linebacker, for example, in free agency, then you go back to this board and say, all right, well, hell, we spent mad day 1 and day 2 visits on those guys. So it may be a linebacker. So it's definitely going to align, right? It's going to align. And this is why we're pulling this up. And again, I just want to make this a point, right? This does not include pro days, because pro days also you get another visit there and things could shift, right? So just this is as it stands right now. March 3rd, things could change. So that's edge rushers. Taking a quick look at
offensive line, bro.
Let's look at the offense. We'll get all the offensive linemen here. Interior.
Yeah, let's look at that.
And tackles. So we'll look at that. And here are your offensive linemen. This was surprising to me as well, right? This was very surprising.
God. So basically they're going to draft any offensive lineman, it's going to be offensive tackle.
This is but not only that, but they're all late.
Early fourth round.
That's day 3, bro.
I know.
That was surprising to me. I thought it would be much higher than that, honestly. And again, things could change. Like I just said, I've reiterated a couple of times now. Things could change, but I was surprised that there wasn't more. And maybe again, they have more intel than what we have in regards to Icky's injury, where his timeline is, and whether they're going to re-sign Yash and all that. They probably have an idea of where they are, and maybe they only do need a depth guy, and it's not. They're going to re-sign Yash, and the need isn't as big as we think it is. You know what I mean? So we'll see.
You know what else? Here's my take. Maybe they think they got a shot to keep Cade. Maybe.
No. To me, I'm not even looking at interior. I'm looking at the tackles.
No, but my point is but I'm looking at interior and center, and I'm like, yo, not a single person in the middle of that line is worth a draft pick to them. Not one. And then everybody else that is worth one are offensive tackles and they're early day 3 guys. Not one. Considering the situation with the offensive line. You got a tackle gone. You got a tackle who's going, but that potentially might miss the whole year, and then you're gonna lose Cade. So yeah, this is fascinating to me. Very fascinating. Very fascinating. But time will tell. See what happens with these guys. A couple small school guys on the list. So
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Very interesting. All right, and then a couple other interesting positions. I think safety was one of them. We saw a linebacker. Let's look at safety, and then we'll look at wide receiver and the skill positions. But safety, again, day 2, day 3, Kilgore, Genesis Smith, Jalen Husky. Those are some guys that they're looking at. So just keep an eye on that. So that's the safeties, and then we'll look at the skill positions real quick. We'll We'll lump them all in one. But yeah, you don't see much.
Ha
Right?
ha. They do like one wide receiver though. Day 2 guy. Tight end not as high. Running back not as high. But this is about right though, guys. Like we've invested in all 3 of these positions. Like I know you guys feel a way about some of these individuals, but we've invested in all 3 of these.
Yeah.
Like that's the truth. This is going to probably be a more defensive laden draft. But sometimes boring is good.
Bingo. And so that kind of goes to my point here, especially with some of the takeaways. So if you look at where we are, we talked about edge and linebacker. That's where they're putting all the eggs in that basket. If you go back and look at it. So if there's a heavy emphasis on the front 7 and ensuring that defense, like Dave just mentioned, that the defense is shored up. So again, I think that if the draft were to occur right now, you would be looking at edge rusher or linebacker. Again, this is prior to free agency. Things could change. But that's what I'm seeing based off of the visits that we saw so far. And then you go and you look at some of the targeting pattern. Like we kind of draw it out, but round 1 is looking like edge. Oh, I didn't show y'all DT, but Caleb Banks was up there too. We can go here.
Yeah, go back real fast. Pull that up, bro. Sorry about that. Yeah, you good point. We need to see DT. And I'll do the super chat while you get that set up.
Yep.
So shout out to Double O Kane. Watch the Green Bay game today. Yash should definitely be re-signed. He could start if we draft a guy in the 3rd or 4th. Okay. Sure ain't got nobody else. Hear me out. We need a gas mask video of Arvell Reese ASAP. Shout out to Listen, man. How important is that nowadays now? Anyway. There you go.
What? Yeah.
The gas mask.
This is the DTs, right? So you're looking at first round, potential second round, and or third round to Caleb Banks, Darnell Jackson, Daryl Jackson Jr.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of all over the place. So it definitely looks like there's something they're investing in, and definitely something to keep an eye on. Again, with A'Shawn, that tells
Proctor,
me,
bro. We talked about him last week. Caleb Proctor, bro.
That
he had a phenomenal combine.
Yeah, that tells me that they could be my fault. That tells me they're all over the place, but it tells me that A'Shawn Robinson is definitely up out of here, right?
Yeah.
That's a strong signal that I'm getting from that, and they're gonna look to backfill that somewhere in this draft. So yeah, these are the DTs.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so going back again to what we were just looking at. Right, so it could be edge, linebacker, or DT. Round 2, you're looking at potential edge or linebacker again. And then when you look at rounds 3 and 4, it could be tackle, safety, defensive line depth. And then day 3, you're looking at cornerback, IOL, and then potential, some sort of developmental defensive back. So just keep an eye on it. But like Dave said earlier, this is definitely trench first draft for
As
sure.
It should be. As it should be. It absolutely should be. They gotta fix it.
Yeah, definitely going to be in the trenches. Definitely going to be in the trenches.
So everybody on the skill position side is going to get opportunities next season. So this is a trench free. This is what we need to do. I will say this though, and I'm going to keep it a beam with you, bro. I am kind of concerned that the offensive lineman is not as high as it should be. Kind of concerned. But we'll see what happens in free agency next week. That might change my mind about it. But outside of that, I'm not mad at them taking edge and linebacker first 2 days or DT first 2 days. Not mad at it. But offensive lineman, the fact that it's not even a consideration in day 1 or 2 is kind of interesting.
Again, it's early though.
It's early.
We haven't seen the pro day visits. So things could change. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? Things could certainly change from now and what else is going on. But I think that they're gonna try to make it a priority to re-sign Yosh Nijman, and I think Yosh is definitely somebody that I think he'll be serviceable until Icky comes back.
I'm not saying tackle's not a priority, Thomas. I just think that I've been begging for a linebacker for a couple of years now. So we'll see. We'll see. We've done enough splashes though. Like I feel you, bro. We've done enough splashes, right?
Yeah.
Like we've been drafting wide receivers like crazy. We've drafted corners. We've drafted. We don't like quarterback. They can just grab a UDFA for that. We didn't even look at quarterback.
Yeah. And for me, this is not what's missing in a bad way, right? I'm just making an observation that this is what's missing from the observations, right? So wide receiver, there aren't many, right? They're all later. There's no early, and it shouldn't be, right? We spent a lot of over the past couple of years. We put a lot of time, energy, draft capital, and into wide receiver, so we don't need one. Cornerback, same thing. We invested a lot of money with J.C. Horn, and you brought in Mike Jack and draft capital. We drafted some guys too. So again, it's time to shift away from that and get into the trenches, linebacker, some of the positions that you ignored for quite some time. So this is definitely not going to be a splash skill position draft. Get that out your mind. If you're thinking running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, that ain't it for this draft. This is going to be a defensive trench first. It's not going to be one of them pretty ones. Not going to be one of them pretty drafts. Last year was a pretty draft. You got the bright, shiny object in T-Mac. You won't get that. You won't get that. So this is what based on the visits, what the philosophy shows me. Build through the front seven. We're going to get after the quarterback, control line scrimmage, and then we're going to add some secondary depth a little bit later. So we're trying to get the identity built instead of some of the flashy picks that we've kind of moved away from. So that's what the visits show me, man. I think it's a pretty clear strategy, right? I think that this is something that that it's plain to see. I don't think we're hiding anything.
Nope.
I think this is pretty straightforward that we're going to draft edge, linebacker, and kind of get some of those positions locked up. Go ahead, Dave.
It's obvious at this point. It's like clear as freaking day. Oh yeah, it's obvious at this point, bro. Like you know what it's going to be at this rate. Like I understand folks want this and that and the other thing, but we got to just let the guys that are in these skill positions develop more. Like I said, I'm not off the Excel train yet, but I might be stopping at some point, getting off the train, but I'm still on it. But we gotta fix the trenches. It is imperative. It is imperative at this point. It is we talk about what it takes to win a Super Bowl. Most of these Super Bowl teams got some freaking outstanding defenses, and they got an outstanding front. So that's what we got to do.
Yeah, I think again, I think it's the right move. I think we have the talent offense, but I'm with Dave too. Though we got to figure out and shore up that offensive line. It's definitely it can't be ignored.
But I know what
we're doing.
And like you said, it's early, but it makes me wonder about how we handle next week with free agency regarding the line. Maybe they've made the decision that they don't want to necessarily go that route, but then again, it makes it difficult because of how much money you've already invested in that position, right? We've invested a lot of money within that position. So it's going to make it difficult to be investing more into that position. Probably should we need to have a balance of how much we invest our money in these positions, especially with the quarterback position coming down the pipe. So that's how I feel about that. But
yeah, but that basically sums it up, man. That's the Panthers at a glance from a from a draft visit standpoint. Next week we got free agency. Free agency is going to be very interesting. I think I do expect the Panthers to make a splash. And yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to see how it's gonna go. I got a couple of days off next week, but I got 1 day off next week, and free starts Monday, so I might be able to check what's going on in the scenes with regards to that, but we'll see. But no. All right, chat's already. I mentioned Excel. Y'all are already going on his neck, man. Let that man be. You got 1 more year to figure it out. But we'll see. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they have faith in your boy Nick at center than I'm giving him credit for.
No, I think they do. I think, hey, he played well. I mean, we didn't hear his name, like he wasn't getting exposed like that. I think they believe in him, bro. And I think that's one of those things, man. You got to believe in in your depth. That's why you get these guys around, and we're gonna find out real quick. We're gonna find out real quick who the Panthers believe in, and it's gonna show in their actions.
All right, I dig it. I feel you.
All right. So with that said, man, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell, and all that good stuff, man. For agency next week, we're gonna have to strap in. It's gonna be it's gonna be fun. I will be going live. If we make some big splashy moves, I'm hitting the live button immediately. I might be on. Yeah, when it start? 4:00 on
Is it 4:00 on Monday?
I think it's 4:00 on Wednesday. I believe it's Wednesday.
Oh, it's Wednesday. It's not Monday.
Yeah, it's not Monday.
Okay.
It's Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday the 11th.
All right.
Let me confirm that. NFL. But yeah, I'm gonna be live 1,000%. If it goes down, we're gonna be live and we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it happen. Oh no, it is Monday. My fault. That's the tampering window. So the tampering window is March 9th at 12 p.m. So yes, Dave,
that's the day that matters.
Yes, yes. So Dave, we got to be on call, ready to go.
I'll be around Monday.
If it goes down, we gotta be ready to go.
My daughter's coming this weekend. I gotta take her to the train station on Monday. So
yeah. So it starts at 12 p.m. on Monday, the legal tampering window, and then free agency officially starts on the 11th at 4 p.m. So, but deals will get announced and all that good stuff prior to that. Typically, the Panthers are not involved on day one, but I expect that to change this time around. I think we're definitely going to be locked in and ready to go. For sure.
If you want Devin Lloyd, we're gonna have to be.
Yeah, or Trey Hendrickson. We're gonna get a big name, bro. We're gonna get one of those two names. We're gonna drop the bag on somebody, bro. We have to.
It's imperative.
Yeah.
It is imperative, bro.
But all right, we're gonna be live to cover it. Again, hit that notification bell. Make sure you tapped in. Make sure you locked in, and we will see y'all on the other side, man. Like, Scott, notification bell. We out of here. Peace.
Shout out to PNP. It's Rashad and Dave. Keep the vibes up. Ain't nothing serious, we just having fun. We the best podcast. PNP. No need to pause. Keep pounding. Doing this for years, Superman like Cam. Ice up, sun like spinach at the scoreboard. 0 to 50, no other teams can compete. I know you feel me. Keep pounding. Carolina, go Panthers. Carolina, go Panthers. Carolina, go Panthers. You know we gotta. You know we gotta